Out in the desert under blazing sun, the amigos ride, mission begun. Jerry loves freedom, Joe radiates sats, Chris Fractal, Bitcoin, they wear all the hats. Oh, Bitcoin, amigos, freedom, sats and streams, roaming the earth, spreading the flame, uniting the world in Bitcoin's name. Every Friday the stream comes alive, from 88 sats to fractal vibes. Jerry's got wisdom, the chat lights up, everyone cheers, raising their cups. Oh, Bitcoin, amigos, freedom, sats and streams, roaming the earth, spreading the flame, uniting the world in Bitcoin's name. The sats rain down, a constant stream, good people unite, living the dream. We laugh and joke, yet we are blessed. Bitcoiners together, always the best. All over the world, the mission is clear. Prosperity's calling, the amigos are here. Oh, Bitcoin, amigos, freedom, sats and streams, growing the earth, spreading the flame, uniting the world in Bitcoin's name. Rise to the moon, all-time highs, sats are the future, open your eyes. From desert trails to city lights, together we rise, Bitcoiners unite. Oh, 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 oh. Bitcoin amigos, freedom, sats and streams, roaming the earth, breaking the flame. Bitcoin amigos.
What the hell is going on here? Are we live? I hope we're live. I hope everybody can hear that. I guess I should have checked after yesterday's debacle. Everybody can hear that. I guess I should have checked after yesterday. Seems like the sound's working. Was it playing? Oh yeah. Hello out there. We're on the air. Can you believe it? I can't myself. I don't know what the hell we're doing here, but we're here. What's up, everybody? Second stream of the day. It's like 2 days. It's like we're training for the NFL right now. We're doing 2 days. Ozekin, Tom, lots of familiar faces in the chat. Jay's in here. Parker, Kevin, Loud Valves. What's happening? You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm a little bit rough looking here. This is a casual stream, backwards hats, nothing serious. Couple of reasons we're doing a stream tonight. I mean, it's -40 here. There's not a whole lot that I can do. So that's one. Second thing, Bridge is gone. She's out of the town, out of the household today. So me and Arnie also don't have much to do. But most importantly, there's a new album out, and I don't know when you showed up on this stream, but we started the show with a song called "The Bitcoin Amigos" from the Bitcoin Amigos, and I meant to mention this on the show this morning, and I completely forgot. We did a 2-hour show. I had a bunch of things to talk about, and I think I ended up covering one of them. So I want to talk about a few things tonight. It's going to be nothing serious. I do have a beer here, usually drinking coffee in the morning. And we're a little bit rough looking. We're a little bit haggard, but in a good way. Merle Haggard. So kind of what I want to talk about today. I mean, there's nothing really off topic tonight. I'm going to keep the stream fairly short. I still got to eat supper actually, but I wanted to get this done because I knew if I ate supper, I would not want to do a stream after. So I'm running on fumes here pretty much, but that's okay. That's okay. I think we're live on the Zap stream too. I don't know if anybody's over there. I did share it on the nostr. Oh, we got one person over there. Wow. Thanks for coming out tonight, Zap stream. It might even be me. It might just be me, the viewer. Anyways, that's okay. This is an unexpected stream. We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight. I do have a couple of things I want to talk about and share with everybody here. And yeah, if you have anything else you want to talk about or ask or anything, just throw it in the chat. I'm going to try my best. I know I'm horrible with timing, but I really want to be done this in the next half hour, 40 minutes. So I do have a lot of things to do. This is just kind of me procrastinating, honestly. But whatever. It's hump day, and we're not humping tonight, so we're streaming. I don't know how else to say it. So we don't have many metrics. We don't have any mempools. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just going to get straight to the chase here. So one thing I've noticed in the chat here in the last little while, the nice thing about this live streams that we do every single day is that I get a pretty good feel on like where people are and what kind of questions people have. So I got a couple different topics tonight that I do want to talk about, but I've noticed that there's a lot of people out there who own Bitcoin who don't know anything about Lightning. And I get it. When I first got into Bitcoin, I didn't even know I just figured you send it, you pay a little bit, and that was it. And it just goes place to place. I had no idea about the mempool. I had no idea about the blocks. I had no idea about Lightning, eCash, none of that. And I think that's how most people start. And so tonight, we're just going to talk about a few things, including Lightning, including Wavlake, and including Fountain, and a few more things. So this is going to be kind of like a casual tutorial on how to set up Lightning. And so you can participate in things like Fountain, like Wavlake, like nostr, like Zapstream, like everything that's being built right now in the ecosystem, Bitcoin ecosystem. You need this. You need this information if you want to participate in it. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, and I know that there's been a lot of people who have done this already, but you know, for the last year, pretty much, I always get people asking like, "What's the best Lightning wallet to use? Which one should I use?" And it's pretty difficult in my situation here because every country has different wallets, right? Like in the US, Phoenix is banned and Wallet of Satoshi is banned. Those are kind of like the two best ones in my opinion. Phoenix is a little bit more advanced. I would stay away from Phoenix until you're a lot more familiar with Bitcoin and Lightning itself. But Wallet of Satoshi is the easiest wallet that you could ever use, even easier than the one I'm about to talk about here. So if you are in a country where you have access to Wallet of Satoshi, I'll just show you what it looks like here in the App Store, just so you don't get messed up. Where are we here? So you can just go to the App Store, like just go to your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store and just type in Wallet of Satoshi. And that's what it looks like there. It's a little lightning bolt. Looks like I need to update, but that's what it looks like. So if you're fortunate enough to be in a country where Wallet of Satoshi is there, then absolutely do Wallet of Satoshi. I do recommend getting a couple different ones just to play around, see what you like. But sorry, I'm going to be burping a little bit here with this beer. Beers before supper, never a good idea. Or the best idea. Too soon to say, honestly. So that's Wallet of Satoshi. That's where I would start. It's very easy. You literally don't have to do anything. You just download it. The wallet's there. You can press send, you can press receive. The fees are a little bit higher in terms of moving from on-chain to Lightning. So this is a consideration for anybody out there who's like thinking about setting up Lightning wallets and maybe Lightning channels one day. But you have to move the Bitcoin off layer one, right? That's the first step. So let's say that you've been buying Bitcoin at Bitcoin Well, any exchange, you've been moving it to your cold storage or to your phone wallet, whatever it is. Those are all transactions happening on layer 1. And you have to actually move it off of layer 1 to be on Lightning, to run on it's different rails. I like to think of it as like train tracks. So you got Bitcoin layer 1 on one track, and you got Lightning on a whole bunch of side tracks off of layer 1. So whenever you go to move off of layer 1, whether you're sending a transaction to somebody else or you're funding your Lightning wallet, whenever you're moving Bitcoin on layer 1, it's going to cost you some sats. It's a transaction fee. So some of them are a little bit higher. So I would definitely recommend playing around a little bit. I'll give you a couple suggestions. Wallet of Satoshi is one. The second one I would suggest, and this one's a little bit more universal. The next two kind of are a little bit more universal. But the Speed Wallet. I don't know if there's a referral thing on Wallet of Satoshi or not. Actually, I think that there is. So here's a challenge for you. If you want to, this is obviously totally optional. Again, I don't even know if there's anything that I get from this or not, but this is my proposal to everybody out there. Sorry, who's not in the USA. But if you're just setting up your Wallet of Satoshi for the first time, you just download it after you watch this show. Shoot me an email to 88sats@proton.me with your Lightning address. And I'll send you 8 sats or something. I think that initiates the wallet, and that might be the way of referral code. I don't know how it works, but you'll get 8 free sats either way. So that's my offer tonight, just to encourage you to get set up on Wallet of Satoshi. So the next one here is the Speed Wallet. And this is all going to kind of tie together at the end. I'm just talking about some Lightning wallets for now. But the Speed Wallet does have a referral code, and I think you get 500 sats, so it's a little bit better than 8. So, I mean, if you're just setting up for the first time, just get both. You don't have to verify yourself. There's no ID, proof of identification, or anything like that. You just download them. So this, I'll put in my code here for you to use. So you just enter this on the main screen. SI, that's an I, not a 1, 5. So you'll have to put in your email address. You'll have to put in a password, and then you put in the referral code underneath that. And then you'll just have to verify your email address. Again, you don't have to put in ID, nothing. You could even just create a brand new email address for Bitcoin stuff, which I do recommend everybody does. So we got Wallet of Satoshi, no email. We got Speed Wallet. You have to set up an email and link it. But those are kind of my two best wallets, I think, because both of them have the Lightning URL, which looks very similar to like a email address. Like I'll show you Arnie's. This is what Arnie's looks like. So when you download Wallet of Satoshi, they just provide you with an email address or like a Lightning URL. So this is actually what they provided for, this is legit. This is what they provided for Arnie's wallet when I set it up, which is adoptedson98@walletofsatoshi.com. And of course, he is a rescue dog, so he is adopted, our son, our furry son. But it worked out perfectly. Other than that, they just give you one. It's usually something very stupid. But that's Wallet of Satoshi. And then with Speed Wallet, you can actually set your own, which I prefer. It's the same with Coinos, the next one I'm about to talk about. But you can actually set your own username. So like on the Speed Wallet, my account that I set up is Bitcoin Journey@speed.app. So you get to create your own, which I like. I mean, it's nice when it works out like Adopted Son 98. Adopted Son's going a little bit cuckoo out there right now. Oh, there he is. Hey, Aaron. What you figure, man? What you doing? Being shy. That's what he's doing. Being shy. So that's Wallet of Satoshi, and that is Speed Wallet as well. So those are the kind of two that I would recommend most. And then the third one I would suggest is Coinos, which also has an app that you can download, I think on Android only, maybe iOS. I'm not sure. But I mean, even if you can't do that, the nice thing you can do is you can just go to Coinos, Coinos.io, and you'll set up an account there, very similar to how you'd set up an account with anything. And then you get to create your own Lightning URL with that. So it'll be like jor@coinos.io. So the same kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure Coinos you can get wherever you are. So those are the 3 wallets that I would suggest. And the third one I would say, which doesn't have the Lightning URL capabilities, but is very useful in terms of swapping from on-chain and Lightning, is the Aqua wallet. So this is actually from Samson Mao's company, Gen 3. And so it's called Aqua, AQUA, Aqua. And this is good. Again, it doesn't have the Lightning URL, but it does have a lot of other features, including you can move Tether onto there. You can use Liquid. You can use Lightning. You can swap between Bitcoin and Lightning. So this is a really good way to do it, honestly. This is a great way. If you don't have Bitcoin well, this is a great way to be swapping on-chain to Lightning. So what you would do here, and just maybe, because I know that a lot of people really don't understand what's going on here very well. So what you would do is you download the Aqua wallet, and then you'd send Bitcoin to it. So it has like there's your 3 options there. So you got Bitcoin. Mine's empty. I don't have $100,000. That's the price today. Mine's empty. But you got Bitcoin, you got Layer 2, Liquid, and Lightning, and then you got Tether on there. So what you could do is you just download the Aqua wallet, you press Bitcoin, and then you click Receive. And so it'll give you that Bitcoin address there somewhere. So this is a really good, this is kind of the preferred route, I think, for a lot of people around the world, is that you'd buy Bitcoin on an exchange. And a lot of exchanges, you should be using an exchange that has free withdrawals for sure. So what you would do there is you'd buy Bitcoin on the exchange. You'd set up your Bitcoin receive address, your destination address, to be your Aqua wallet, your Bitcoin. So that's a free withdrawal. It would send no transaction fee on that. And then you would just go to, there's a little button there. It says swap. See right beside, in between Bitcoin and Layer 2, it says swap. So that's where you'd swap your Bitcoin to Layer 2, Lightning and Liquid. And then you have Lightning with almost 0 fees. Depending on what the mempool is doing, I think it might cost you a little bit more. But I mean, it might cost you 500 sats to do that. So that's a really good way to get Bitcoin, like buy Bitcoin, and then send it to your, convert it to Lightning. So again, Wallet of Satoshi, Speed Wallet, Coinos.io, and Aqua Wallet. Those are kind of like your main tools that I would say if you want to get involved with the Lightning stuff. And you can send zaps, you can send to Arnie's wallet, you can earn on Fountain and fund the wallet. So that's the first step. And that's where I wanted to start with tonight, because again, I don't know where everybody's at in terms of their Lightning. Coinos is a great option in the US, correct. I think if you're in the US, Speed Wallet, Coinos, and you can use Aqua as well. You just can't use Wallet of Satoshi. AV, good evening, my friend. And again, here's the referral code for the Speed Wallet. The Speed. Matt's in the chat. Good morning, or good evening. I'm used to saying good morning on here. Hey, look at this. Buck 52,000 says, gave you a shout out on another fellow's Bitcoin channel today. Hopefully you picked up a few subs. Well, thank you. Were you doing an interview or just in the chat or something? Oh, that was another reason I wanted to do a live stream tonight. I was stuck on, I still might be, but I was stuck on 6,666 subscribers for like an hour, and I was very uncomfortable about it. I even posted about it on nostr. I'm like, please, someone just subscribe, one person, so I can get off of 6666. So let's see if we've hit that. See if anybody listened. We're still no. So if you're watching this and you do not subscribe to the channel, please, I'm begging you, get me off of the 666 subscribers, please. But thank you, Buck 52. I appreciate that, my friend. No, Ozekin says I can't find swap option in Speed from Layer 1. No, you can't. You can't swap in Speed Wallet. So what you'd have to do with Speed Wallet is you would have to actually use Aqua first. So you'd go through the process I just said, where you have Bitcoin, You send it to the Aqua wallet. You set up your receive address for Bitcoin in there, and then you swap it from Bitcoin to layer 2 Lightning Liquid, and then you can move it to your Speed wallet. That's what I would suggest the best route is to take. So AJ says, I just sent from ShakePay to Speed and it worked. Oh, there you go. How did that work? Maybe Speed. Oh, no, Speed does have a swap option. I didn't even know that. But, whoa. What was that? Yeah, it does have a. I don't know how you did that, AJ. It says swap. But mine's all in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that worked. To be completely honest with you. I don't know how you could have sent from ShakePay to Speed and use Lightning. Maybe it just automatically converts to Lightning. That's what it could be. So you might have paid an initial fee onto Speed. You might have to check that. You just have to go to your history, and you'd have to look at if they charged you anything for that. So I mean, you could do the same with Wallet of Satoshi as well, right? If you just sent directly from ShakePay to Wallet of Satoshi. They might charge you like an incoming fee. I know that Phoenix Wallet does that. I don't know if Wallet of Satoshi and Speed do that or not. Anyways. So Ozekin, if you can't find it on Speed Wallet, just use Aqua. Billy. Good to see you too, my friend. Good evening. Cheers. Wow, Igor swinging the big dick around tonight. Ooh-wee. Oh, somebody subscribed, so thank you. We're off of 666. Thank you. I appreciate whoever did that. You're the fucking best. Okay, let's see what Igor has to say. Whole coiner, but also have 200,000 in shit coins that I need to off ramp. Hearing a lot of bad press on Coinbase right now. Any ideas of a safe way to opt? Yes, I do. I do have a safe way for you to do that. I don't know what the best way to communicate. Igor, what I would say is just shoot me an email, because I have the perfect spot. Unless you want to do it like non-KYC, I don't think I could help you with that. That might be very difficult to unload that amount of shit coins into non-KYC. But if you're okay with like setting up a new account at a brokerage, I do have somebody that could help you with that for sure. So shoot me an email. I think I put all my info on this one. I did this kind of last minute tonight, so I don't know if everything's here or not. Let me just double check. If not, my email is 88sats. I'll just put it in the chat here for you. Just shoot me an email and say, hey, it's Igor from the Bitcoin live chat, looking to unload some shit coins. But yeah, it's also, if you anybody out there, if you ever want to get in touch with me, all my contact info is below. And the other thing I'd say on that, Igor, is like, try to do that sooner than later. Depending on what alts they are, I'm just not super convinced that we're going to see our usual altcoin season this year. I know we've had a couple pumps, like XRP was pumping and all the fucking banana heads were losing their minds. But other than that, like, once Bitcoin starts moving, I think it's going to happen very, very fast. And so even if the shit coins did get back up to like what, you want for them in fiat, or that you paid for them in fiat, you're going to end up with a lot less sats at that time. So I would say, act with a little bit of urgency, even if you do half it like next week and then do half in a month or two from now. But I wouldn't want to miss out on what's coming here in the next couple weeks in Bitcoin. Personally, that's just my opinion. Kev says, what do you think of using the metric system for sats? Instead of saying $1 gets you 1,000 sats, we can say a Bitcoin is about $1 per kilosat. You know what? There's a lot of different like debates and conversations going on like what we should call Bitcoin, what we should call sats. And actually, there's a very knowledgeable fella in our Living in the Future community. And he had the idea, he saw a video, but he had the idea of like changing sats to be Bitcoins and Bitcoins to be Satoshis. So if you had like 20,000 sats, you would have 20,000 Bitcoins or Bitcoin. And then if you had one whole coin, that would be a Satoshi. And just because like the marketing around it, I do think that makes sense. But I think two things. I think we're already too far like down this path of Bitcoin and Satoshis and 100 million Satoshis inside of one Bitcoin. I think we're too far down that. I think it would fuck with too many people. And just people in general be very confused, I think. And the other part of that too is like, I don't mind the fact that people aren't buying Bitcoin yet. Truly. I know that sounds bad to say, but like getting into Bitcoin and having the conviction to hold in Bitcoin and building the foundation and the floor that we need in Bitcoin requires work. And I do agree that if we changed it to be like 50,000 Bitcoin instead of 50,000 sats, that would attract more people. They would see it differently. But I still don't like the idea of that. I think that people should have to do the work to understand Bitcoin, to get that level of conviction that we have in Bitcoin. And then they're going to have it for a very long time. That's the whole purpose of Bitcoin, right? And so the other thing too that I would say, the last thing I would say on that is with the sats, with the Bitcoin, it still wouldn't matter because like just think this through. Let's say that we did move from sats to Bitcoin. I know this is kind of confusing, but let's say we move from sats to Bitcoin. In other words, 100,000 sats today, we'd change that to be 100,000 Bitcoin, right? That was the proposal. But it still doesn't change the unit bias there, because even if we were to look at 1 sat right now, it's still much less than 1 cent. So you still can't measure it in that, if that makes any sense. And that's why I think that when we hit 1 million and 1 sat equals 1 cent, that's when we're really going to blast off, because people will start looking at Bitcoin as like a penny stock. They'll see it move from like 1 cent per sat to 5 cents per sat, and they'll see their investment going up. Meanwhile, in the background there, Bitcoin just went from 1 million to 5 million. So Bitcoin to the normal person, but you have to get to 1 million first before you can even do that. Otherwise, nobody can comprehend it in terms of like 1 sat or 1 Bitcoin in this case would be like 0.005 of a cent. Like it still doesn't work yet. We're still not to the point where it makes sense in their heads. I'm going to knock over this beer right away by accident. So I don't think that it matters. Truly. I don't think that it matters what it's called. We just have to be on the same page. People have to understand what is going on here. And I think that they have to put in the work. That's my honest assessment of it. Kev says 1,000 is a lot of money for Gen Zer, but megasat sounds like an appropriate large amount of Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't hate the ideas. I just still think that people need to, more than just like looking at Bitcoin as something that's going to go up fast and they can get a lot of it. Like, in order to have the conviction and actually hold on to the Bitcoin and secure it properly, it's much deeper than that. I just received Bitcoin. Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. So Speed, you can actually send Bitcoin directly from an exchange to Speed Wallet and then use Lightning. So that's even better than I thought. I'm going to have to try that. But I mean, I trust you, so it makes sense to me. I didn't know that Speed could do that. That's pretty cool. Oh, there we go. Lorna got her package. That's good news. KYC is fine. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that, Igor. Oh, Judson says, I think I screwed up. Tried to buy Bitcoin well for the first time and send it to Speed Wallet. I mean, it should show up. That's what you want to do there. You buy Bitcoin on well, like they won't let you buy it if something's wrong there. So don't worry too much, Judson, if something happened. Like if you don't have a correct destination wallet in there, they won't let you do it. So you either sent it to your cold storage or you sent it to, or I'll just bring it up here. Should we do a giveaway? Second one of the day? I mean, okay. You talked me into it, Judson. It's a good name, by the way. I like that. I like different names. I'm a man of different names myself. Oh. I'll show you what I mean here, Judson. Just bear with me here for a sec. Okay, so if you want to go to buy, so here's what you need to do in Bitcoin Well. Oh. Every time something happens, I think we dropped. I'm too paranoid now in here. So this is what you want to do. So you can, with Bitcoin Well, you can either choose to use on-chain or Lightning. And you can see here that this on-chain, I have an actual Bitcoin address in there, right? So if I bought Bitcoin, if I went through the same process here, sent an e-transfer or a payment to Bitcoin Well, and this is my destination address, this is where the Bitcoin would go to, my on-chain wallet. But if I set Lightning here, I can choose whichever one I want to use here. So I get a couple different options here, but you have to select Lightning. Otherwise, it'll just go to your on-chain wallet. So I don't think you would have screwed anything up. And again, it might not, if you look at the on-chain, it might actually take 10 hours for it to show up. So don't worry like that it got lost somewhere. It probably just went to your on-chain address if you had one in there. But you want to be using Lightning for that. And you can add your, I mean, they might actually trigger you to, or prompt you to put in your Lightning address here, but you can also do that in your wallet management here on the left side. So don't worry, like the sats won't be just gone to nowhere. They won't let you send Bitcoin if you don't have a proper address in there. Okay, so let's give away some Bitcoin. Why not? Why the hell wouldn't we? Bitcoin Well is getting some double press today. Oh, what the hell's going on here? Okay, there we go. Are we ready? So those who just downloaded a wallet for the first time, you can participate with this now because you need a Lightning wallet to participate in the free giveaway every day. All right, let's have a big one here. We ready? Set? Go. Come on, baby. Big one, big one, big one. 500. We're on a 500 sat streak. I think that's like 20 in a row. I mean, I'm not complaining. You shouldn't be complaining. That's 500 sats full free. But, I mean, we're looking for a little bit higher than that for sure. I need to be so much better than I am with my phone charger here. I don't know how my phone dies so quick. It's a new phone. Thought batteries were supposed to be good on this. All right. Carrying on. So if you're not on Bitcoin Well yet, if you're in Canada, if you're in the US, make sure you sign up. You can see it right here. You get 5 free tosses into the Bitcoin wishing well. I wish I could drink beer in the morning for these shows. I think we'd have a lot more fun. I mean, we have quite a bit of fun as it is, but we could definitely take it to the next level. That's why I love the Bitcoin Amigo show, because it is Friday afternoon and we got the beer, or I got the beer flowing. I shotgunned a beer last week on the Bitcoin Amigos channel. I don't know if you watched that or not, but it was pretty entertaining, I think. The boys liked it. So while I got you, while we're talking Amigos, it's going to lead into this next segment here. So make sure you hop over there, right Samson Mao, and get subscribed to the Bitcoin Amigos. We got our second show, episode 2, happening Friday, December 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And you can go watch the, hey, look at that. The stream's on there right now. Lots of Bitcoin Amigos happening. The AI must have picked that up from YouTube. Anyways, Chris, Jerry, Jor, beers, Friday, and great songs. That's what inspired the show tonight. Great songs from Chris. So head over there right now. I think that I left a link in the show notes as well if you want to, if you can't find it. So shout out to Chris, shout out to Jerry, the boys. We've been having a lot of fun on that, and we got some big plans for it. So you might as well get in early. Just like I say with living in the future, it's exactly like Bitcoin. Everybody joins living in the future on the date they deserve. Same thing. And I said that right off the hop when we launched Living the Future. I said the earlier you're here, the better off you're going to be. And if you join that before December 31st, you're going to do pretty well for yourself in the future. I guarantee it. Layer 1 Bitcoin withdraw from Binance fee, 11K sats. Wow. Yeah, that's what I mean. I did that so many times when I was first getting into Bitcoin because I use Binance all the time. And I didn't even look at the fees. I didn't know what Bitcoin fees were. And that's why, I do this channel, is because there was so much when I first got into Bitcoin that I had no idea about. And so I'm trying to save people from making this mistake, the same mistakes that I made. So don't use Binance. Don't use Binance. Use Bitcoin well. Hey, Ben Hogan. Am I in Sask? No, I'm not. Very close, though. I'm on the Sask border pretty much. So I do go into Regina quite often. Bridge is from Regina. She doesn't live there anymore, but she's from there. And that's where we do the meetups, the Regina Bitcoin Council that I'm a part of. So I think our next one's in January. What's on-ramp? I never heard of that before. Is that a exchange wallet? I don't know. Never been. We're visiting Regina this week. Oh, shit. Wonder if there are any Bitcoin events going on. No, unfortunately not. We're doing the next one in January. Where are you from, Hogan? Not city, province. Don't dox yourself. Sweating and smiling together. Hey, it's Adam. Adam or Lori, one of the two. Good evening. Hello. Good to see you. Judson says it was a small amount, did it December 9th, hasn't shown up in speed yet. I would reach out, Judson, I would reach out to Bitcoin Well. They're very quick to respond. That's why I have no issues recommending Bitcoin Well. If you try to get in touch with someone at Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, it's legitimately going to take them weeks to get back to you. Somebody at Bitcoin Well, there's a little chat bubble on the right-hand side. You send them a message. There's a real human, speaks English, gets back to you within a couple hours. So just say, I sent a test transaction here. I haven't seen it. Just wondering where it went to. Right? No, exactly. Who wouldn't take 500 sats? It's $500 purchasing power in the future. Hey, Ted, give her a diener. Is that what's that show? Fubar. Is that Fubar reference? What a show that was. Wow. I want to watch that tonight now. Fuck, Fubar was awesome. It was like it was Canadian too, I'm pretty sure, Fubar. Give her a diener. Hey, Kelvin. Great to catch a live stream, Bitcoin Amigos. No, this is just me. I might have fooled some people with the thumbnail, but I do want to talk about the Bitcoin Amigos, and I want to share some of the music with you guys and girls tonight. So I'm already at half an hour, 40 minutes here. This is when I wanted to end the show. Oh, multisig. I got you. Yeah, be careful with that though, NS. Be careful with that. And this is kind of a message to everybody out there, regardless of what stage you're at. I just want you to be very careful with who you're trusting in Bitcoin. And I'm not saying that on-chain's bad. Actually, who is on-chain? I'm thinking of, is it on-chain or on-ramp? Anyways, this has nothing to do with them. Like, I'm not shitting on on-ramp. I want everybody to be very careful with who you're trusting in Bitcoin. Because I've talked to several people in the last couple of weeks about different Bitcoin companies, whether that's advisors or collaborative custody like that, or anybody. Just be very careful with who you're trusting in Bitcoin. And I don't mind. Like, honestly, I know that we offer these services, our new venture, Bitcoin Citadel. It's myself and 7 other people from within Living in the Future. Everybody kind of has their own different expertise. We're actually helping somebody set up a Bitcoin node tomorrow through Bitcoin Citadel. So I'm not saying you have to use us, but I'm saying like, just reach out to me first and just say, hey, I'm going to try out this company, or I'm going to try this exchange, or whatever it is. Like, I do not mind helping people for free, right? I really believe in that kind of thing, especially for new Bitcoiners. And I mean, I wouldn't charge anything, but the nice thing is, like, I have stuff like this where if I help you or you learn anything from me, you can just send me sats. I'm not going to put a price on it, but whatever you feel you got from it, that's what you can send in. So just be very careful with the multi-sig stuff, with the, setting up devices, setting up Bitcoin nodes. I've just heard a lot of horror stories, and it really pains me because I think that they're taking advantage of people right now. And that's kind of why we started Bitcoin Citadel, was to go away from that. We're not going to, discount ourselves, but we're also not in the business of ripping people off, right? I'd rather you pay half of what they're charging to us and use the other half of that for Bitcoin to buy sats. So that's what I'd say. Saskatchewan. Oh, I love that. I never heard that before. Saskatchewan. Wow, that's kind of cool. You're pretty close to me. Bren says, beginner, if you DC on ShakePay and use Roundup and wait to send one big transaction to hard wallet, does that count as one or multiple UTXOs? That's a great question. First of all, Brendan, I don't mean to be a dick here, but I wouldn't recommend using ShakePay unless you're just using it for shakes and unless you're just using it for like purchases. But if you're actually buying Bitcoin, use Bitcoin well, use Lightning, and that's the best way to actually control your UTXOs. That's the first thing I'd say. But second part is that no, that just counts as one. So if you have if you get sats from a shake, if you get sats from a Roundup, if you get sats from what's the other one that they have? Like sats back from your purchases on the Visa, and then you send it to your hard wallet, that's just one UTXO. It doesn't count whatever's happening within ShakePay there. It's just as soon as you send it from ShakePay to your wallet, that counts as one UTXO. NS, they LGTM. They look good to me. Wow. I'm surprised I caught on to that one. They look good to me. All right. I like it. Andrew says, any tips for keeping track of Lightning for tax purposes? You're asking the wrong guy there, Andrew. I don't know. I mean, good luck. That's what I'd say to anybody out there. Good luck. Anybody who's going to try to tax me on Lightning, all the best to you. Our government can't even put a fucking sandwich together. So I don't have any sort of interest in that. I have no interest in funding. I better watch what I say. That's why I don't drink beer in the morning, because this is how all the shows would be. But yeah, I'm not interested in funding terrorist organizations. I'm not interested in funding my enemy. NS says, okay, I might take you up on that. Good to get a second opinion. Currently, most of my money is with Fidelity. Yeah, that's I've heard good things about Fidelity too. I think that they're one of the bigger companies in Bitcoin that I do trust. So, I mean, again, just reach out to me. We can set up a 10 or 15 minute call and you can ask any sort of questions you want. I'm not going to charge you anything for it. And this is applicable to anybody out there. And then if you learn something or if I help, then you can just send me some Bitcoin, or we can set up a secondary meeting or whatever that is. Like, I'm not going to just charge you, I do have a rate, but if you just have a couple questions that I can easily answer, like, that's what I'm here for. That's why we're doing this whole thing. Sorry, Andrew. Again, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask. Sweating and smiling together. how do people get a hold of the Bitcoin Citadel? Right now, so we actually don't even have a website yet. This is still very early, but we are still setting up meetings because there's a lot of demand, obviously, for us right now. So just reach out to me for 2025. Kind of my focus is going to be on two things: the new venture within Living in the Future, the 8 Satoshis venture I'm going to be building out, and the second one is going to be on Bitcoin Citadel. So I'm gonna be the liaison. We're going to set things up eventually. We're working on a website right now, but I don't want to wait to have a website so we can help people. So just shoot me an email, 88sats@proton.me, and I'll put you in touch, whether I help you or somebody else, somebody who's more knowledgeable in whatever you're looking for. But that's the thing. And that's my whole kind of thing with anybody is just have a chat. Like I talked with a guy for just over an hour today, just mostly getting to know him. And so once you get to know somebody, you can see a lot clearer picture of, their family, their goals, what they have now, what they want to have, all that kind of stuff. And so we take a look at where you are, where you want to be, and then how to get there in the safest and most efficient way possible. That's it. Pretty simple. Hey, Jerry. Jerry's in the chat. He's never in the chat for the usual shows because he's usually snoozing. I think he's 2 hours behind me, so that would be 6 a.m. for him. It's not Friday yet, Jerry, but we do have a beer, and we do have the Bitcoin Amigos thumbnail out tonight. But we're just hanging out. I'm probably gonna cut this off in an hour. I don't want to go over an hour, so we'll get to the next part here, which is what I was going to talk about during this stream here. And it's a good thing that Jerry showed up right now, because we just spent the first half hour here talking about how to get Lightning, how to get Bitcoin on Lightning. And so this next part I'm going to show you is Wavlake. So let me bring this up. We're absolutely not buying Fartcoin. We're buying Bitcoin. Okay, so this is what I want you to do tonight. Don't send me any sats to this address. Oh, I can't even see it on here. That was a beer talking. Don't send me any sats tonight, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to wavlake.com, WAVLAKE.com, wavlake.com. So I'll take you to the main page here, and this is how you find it. So first thing you're going to have to do is set up a profile. So it's just like any other platform out there. You set up a profile, you add an email address, you add a password, you set a username. It's the exact same. I don't need to walk you through that. So that's the first part. That's number one, is register for an account, Wavlake. Number two here, once you have an account, you're going to click on your wallet, right? And so you can fund it. You can see this would be 0 if I just set up my account at Wavlake. This would be 0 sats because I just created an account, but I did fund my wallet here with 1,000 sats. And so what you do, you just click fund. So I'll just put on like 88 sats here. I'll fund it, click fund. And you need a Lightning wallet for this, right? So it'll say, you can see it on the screen there. I'm going to send a little, I'm going to fund it. So I'm going to click send and then scan it. And then it should go through. There we go. Just funded. So I should have more now. Yep. We got 1,000 sats in there now. So once you have a balance in there, you can start zapping artists. And there's a lot of really good music on Wavlake. A lot of it's Bitcoiners, right? If they're on Wavlake, they know about Bitcoin. You want to support Bitcoiners. This is a good way to do it. There's some really bad music on Wavlake. I'm not going to lie, but there's actually some legit music in here. And so I'm going to play, I'm actually going to play a song here. So once you do that, so you register, you fund the account, just put in like 1,000 sats or whatever you feel comfortable with sending on there. Do a little test first. You can do 10 sats just to make sure it works. So then you fund it. And then from the main screen here, this is wavlake.com. You can go to, what am I doing here? Catalog. And you can see all the artists here. So you can either scan down. There's too many for me to scan down here. So I'm just going to type in Bitcoin Amigos right at the top there. Bitcoin Amigos. Look at that. So we this is wild, but it's unreal. But like Chris from Fractal Bitcoin, he's part of the Bitcoin Amigos. He's one of the 3 Bitcoin Amigos, along with Jerry and myself. But he put together these songs, and they're awesome songs. Like the one we started the show with today was called Bitcoin Amigos. So I won't play this one. I absolutely love Fat Zap Friday. That's the song that I told Chris to write, and he did a hell of a job with it. So Fat Zap Friday, I'm going to play that at the start of every Friday show now for my channel. But there's some really good ones on here. So let's just listen to this one first. This is a favorite. This is Jerry's favorite. This is Bridges' favorite.
Friday, let's go. Friday, let's go. If you know, you know. The Amigos about to flow. Jerry legendary. Joy for the score. Chris never missed. Got him begging for more. Banging Friday shows. Bitcoin Amigos. Banging Friday shows. Bitcoin Amigos. Oh yeah. Feeling the love. Vibe fits like a glove.
How good is that? I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bit biased, obviously. But yes, like honestly, it's like legit good music. And I'm going to warn you. You listen to a couple of these songs, they're going to be stuck in your head for a while. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. But like these are legit songs. So then you go right here. You click the little zap button there. And we're going to zap this song 88 sats. I'll give it a oh yeah for Chris. So that has been boosted. So that's what I encourage you to do. That's your mission for tonight. Get Wavlake, you register, you fund your account with Lightning, send like 1,000 sats or 10,000, whatever you want to do. And then choose your favorite Bitcoin Amigo song. Listen to a couple of them or all of them if you got time. But listen, you'll probably get sick of them after a couple. But they're all different like genres. That's a nice thing. Is like this one was my favorite, the Western one. It very much fit the Western mules, sombreros vibe.
Friday, let's go. Friday, let's go. If you know the Amigos about to flow. Jerry legendary, Joy for the score. Chris never miss, got him begging for more. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigos. Banging Friday shows, Bitcoin Amigo. Oh yeah.
Unreal. So there's those two songs. Those are the same lyrics for those two. The Bangin' Friday shows, you got the rock and roll version and the Western, but the other ones all have different lyrics to them. Sounds like this Fat Zap Friday is a rap one. This Bitcoin Amigo is the one we started the show with today, is kind of like a more upbeat, but they're unreal. So definitely go over there. I think you can zap the whole thing too if you can't pick your favorite song, but that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I strongly encourage everybody out there who's watching this now or later to go boost some of our songs so we can get some traction. We'll get like featured on here and then or trending, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, if you don't have any sats to send, that's okay too. Just listen to the songs, enjoy them, and they'll get stuck in your head, I think. But you can actually earn sats on here too. I don't know how to do it on this. But I know if you have the app, like there's an app too where you can do all this through. But you can actually listen to like a couple songs a day and earn free sats for doing that. So just like Fountain, Very similar to Fountain. That's kind of what I've been doing for a while on Fountain, is like, I'll just listen to podcasts every day. Maybe I earn 30 sats, maybe I earn 10 sats. I just let it build up in there, and then I can boost some of my favorite podcasts on there. So that's Wavlake. That was the purpose of tonight's show. Richard's gay son. What a name. What a name. Damn, that music is actually fire. Honestly, like I get tired of it sometimes because I'm just singing these songs all day in my head. They're very, very catchy and good. So that was the purpose of tonight's show, is I just wanted to highlight Chris's work, our Bitcoin Amigos YouTube channel, our Bitcoin Amigos album. Like, there's 9 songs on this thing. It's not just like a one-off. Bitcoin Amigos album. And pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. Pretty badass. I didn't know Trezor charges sats for Bitcoin transfers. That's insane to me. But are they going? The question there is it going to Trezor, or is that like the network fee, like the transaction fee? Because like I gotta spend sats to move it from my cold card, from my Sparrow wallets, but that's just the mempool. Like, that's the actual transaction fee itself. Or does Trezor actually charge sats for that? That seems insane to me. Souplug, what do you think of El Salvador Bitcoin strategy? I mean, my opinion doesn't matter much. They've cleaned up the whole country. They've got rid of the crime. They're using a volcano to mine Bitcoin. They love their president. I don't think that they could do anything different or better right now. El Salvador will be probably one of the more prosperous countries in the future, just because of the Bitcoin strategy. I know it'll take a while to play out, but like, it's coming. I think it's a network fee. Who does it actually go to, though, if not Trezor? That's a good question. I'll show you. I'll show you because, again, this channel exists for this reason. I wish that I would have had somebody in Bitcoin, anybody, that I could just ask questions to, and they could teach me stuff on Bitcoin. I had nobody. I was literally on my own. I had no friends. I had no mentors. I had nobody. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there who charge a lot of money for this kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't think that it's right. So that's why this channel exists. So anyways, this is what you're looking at. This is where the fees go to. So quickly here, every time you send a Bitcoin transaction, you have to set a fee, right? And some of them do it for you, like Trezor probably sets it for you, but you can set it either low, medium, or high priority, depending on how fast you want it to be picked up. So every time you send a transaction in Bitcoin, it goes into the mempool here. So it'll just sit in this mempool until it gets picked up by a block. Until you set your Bitcoin transaction fee high enough, it'll just sit in the mempool. And that's essentially, you know, you can see this line here right in the middle. On this side here, the green ones, that's the mempool. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was not muted on this thing, but my mic was muted. This is not an easy gig, folks. This is not an easy gig. Very frustrating at times. So let me try this again. So every time you send oh man, that was a good one too. That was a good little roll I was on. So every time you send a transaction, let's say that you set your fee. Right here is what you want to pay attention to. So this is mempool.space. This is a very good resource for anybody out there, any Bitcoiners. But you look at this right here. It says 12 to 1,095 sats. That's who's getting into the next block. So if you set your transaction fee lower than 12 sats per VByte, it's going to just sit in the mempool until you set it higher. And that's why you have to pay attention to what wallet you're sending from, because some wallets have RBF, where you can bump up that fee after you already send it. See, it just bumped up to 13. So there's more people who are willing to pay now a higher fee to get included into the next block. So let's say you sent a transaction, you set the fee at 10 sats per VByte. It would sit in here until you set the fee to at least be 13 sats per VByte. And so whenever this goes through, it should go through here any minute now. You can see it says in approximately 9 minutes, but this last one was 14 minutes ago. So it should on average be about every 10 minutes. So this block should get put into the blockchain any moment now. And unless you have 13 sats per VByte in your fee, you're going to sit in the mempool for a while. And then if it bumps up again in this one, you're going to sit there for a little longer. And it's going to stay in the mempool until your fee is high enough where it gets put into a block. And when that happens, it's there forever. It gets included in a block. And if we click on this one, this was the last block that was mined. If we click into this one, we can see all the information on it. So you can see the hash, you can see the timestamp when it was mined. You can see the fee span. So anywhere from 10 sats per VByte to 1176 sats per VByte. The median was 13 sats per VByte. And the total fees here, this is what I'm getting back to here with your question, Richard's gay son. So this is the fees. This is the total of the fees that everybody paid on their transactions. Right, so you can scroll down here and you can look at the 3,243 transactions that were included in this block. Right, so you can see all the addresses, how much Bitcoin, where it went to, how much of a transaction fee they paid. And so all the transaction fees, they actually get paid to the miner. So in this case, as Richard's gay son is alluding to here, who does that actually go to if not to Trezor? It goes to the miners. So every time somebody mines a block, you can see here there's subsidy and fees. That's what they get paid for mining the block. And so the subsidy, every block is 3.125 Bitcoin. And attached to that is the fees. So you can see here that the total fees on this last block were 15 million sats. So the total subsidy and fees for this last block were 3.284 Bitcoin. So that all goes to the miner. That all goes to bitcoin.com, btc.com. And I really, whoa. What the fuck happened here? What's going on? Why am I so zoomed in? There we go. That was weird. Okay, I really wish that didn't cut out because I could have clipped that, and I think a lot of people would have learned something from that. Oh well, c'est la vie. How many people have more Bitcoin than most countries? Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. I have more Bitcoin than a lot of countries. I have more Bitcoin than Canada. I'm richer than Canada. I could buy Canada. Sorry, folks. I might do these live streams at night more often. I like this. I like the vibe tonight. Nothing too serious. As Martha Stewart's Chrome 45 says, George's hat is backwards, definitely hump day. And we're definitely slamming some beers. Because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? Wow, the Bitcoin well sure got a workout tonight. Let me take that off there. Sorry about that. This isn't a fucking infomercial. Oh well. More Jor. Yep. Richard's gay son. That was actually super interesting. Thanks for the info, brother. Richard's gay son. I have an idea for you. When you have time. I'm going to show you this right now. Because if you thought that was interesting, I'm going to give you something better than that. I feel like that was a decent explanation of it, but I'm going to give you something better than that. Just give me 1 sec here. Bitcoin transaction, 88 sats. Where is it? Sending a Bitcoin transaction? I might have to put this in, I don't know why this isn't showing up. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'll put this in the live chat for you, Richard's gay son. I love saying that. That's the most names I've ever said out loud on the show before. But here, look at this. You don't have to look at my face double here, but this is what it's called. If you don't want to check the show notes later, if you're going to forget, you can just go to, there's only been 224 people watch this video, which is fucking crazy to me, because this is probably the most educational video on Bitcoin that you could find on the internet. I'm not joking. And I'm not just saying that because it was me, but I sent an actual Bitcoin transaction on layer 1 from Sparrow Wallet, watched the whole thing through the mempool, followed it the whole way. It sat in the mempool for a while we were live on the show. So I had to actually use RBF, the RBF feature twice on there because my transaction kept getting bumped. So it went on for 40 minutes. It's like a thriller. It's like a thriller movie. Because I was panicking a little bit. I didn't know how high I had to set the fee to get included in a block to get confirmed. So if you have some time, check this out. It's called Sending a Bitcoin Transaction, full version, and it's 43 minutes long. I'll do my best here to wondering what the first thing I should do is. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to put this in the show notes after for you, just in case there's somebody watching this after. But honestly, like if you want to learn how the whole Bitcoin network works, then watch that video, because you learn about the mempool, you learn about setting a fee, you learn about which wallet to use, you learn about RBF, the replace by fee, how to bump up your fee after you've already sent a transaction. And it's entertaining because the whole thing's live, and it was very stressful for me. And I can't believe that only 224 people have watched that video. I mean, look at the comment on it. There's one comment from Anarcho, one of our favorite fellows in Living the Future. He says, "This was the show that precipitated my dive into living the future world. Much appreciated." So one of the legends in Living the Future joined because of that video. Honestly, if you're somebody who's just new into Bitcoin, free resource. Beers on hump day should be a regular. We'll see about that. We'll see. Judson also says, "I like drinking Jor better than morning Jor." Don't tempt me. If you want to see drinking Jor, go check out last week's Bitcoin Amigos show. I shotgunned a beer live on the channel, live on the show. What's your typical UTXO size in terms of sats? Cat Daddy Soprano. Look at that. That's a new face. So I'm a little bit weird in that, or not weird, but different than most people. Most people are like, don't send a transaction unless it's 1 million sats. I think that people like that have been in Bitcoin for too long. My minimum, my typical, every time I get to like 150,000 sats on my Lightning wallet, or, you know, because what I do is I just, every week I buy $20 worth on Bitcoin Well. That's kind of my DCA. I buy bigger amounts when I can, when I have money, or if it dips. But like $20 a week, Bitcoin Well, recurring buy, it goes into my Lightning wallet from there. And then I just let it build up to be like 150,000 sats. And then I just send it to cold storage. So, I mean, even with this, like in 4 years from now, that UTXO size is going to be high. People are going to be looking back at this video and being like, what? 100,000 sats for one UTXO? But that's where it is right now. And that's why I'm okay sending smaller amounts, because I know where this thing's going, right? And so 1 million sats 4 years ago probably was fine, because it only cost you like a couple $100 for a million sats. But that's kind of where we are now. And it's just going to keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And in 10 years from now, the UTXO size might be 10,000 sats. And a lot of Bitcoiners would disagree with me on that, but I think that when that happens, when we get to that point, those 10,000 sats are going to be so incredibly valuable that the fees will be much lower in terms of sats. That's just my opinion. That's what I do. And again, going back to this, like, worst case, because when you're thinking about UTXOs, you want to think about like when you're going to spend those, right? Like, what are you going to buy? What's it going to be worth at the time when you're actually spending those, if you do? But what are you going to buy with that? And how much is it going to cost you? Are you going to need to group together a whole bunch of them? Like, if I had to group together 5 UTXOs at 200,000 sats, what am I buying for 1 million sats? Like a fucking town? Right? So, and then worst case too is like, if that ends up being too low and I need to consolidate, I can. I'll just wait till fees go down and I'll just combine those, send into a new transaction, and I'll have one UTXO. So I'm in no rush to spend them. So what's the point? I would rather have them on cold storage than my Lightning wallet. Buy Canada and sell to the US. I don't think we'll need to sell it to the US. I think that the US could just come walk over and take this place over if we need to. If they want to, and I think that they will. Thoughts on buying, stacking Bitcoin, and hodling for a decade? I prefer buying, stacking forever, and hodling till I die. At least 95% of it. Yeah, Matt, I watched you do that transaction live. It was wild. I know, it was very stressful for me, but it was a really good learning lesson, I think, for a lot of people. Cat Daddy, been watching you for a couple months now. New to comment. Oh, there you go. Welcome to the comments. Welcome to the live chat. Richard's gay son. What would you say to people who criticize Bitcoin for transfers being too slow? I mean, you want, if you really understand the difference between layer 1 and layer 2, you want it to be slow. Like what Bitcoin layer 1 is going to replace in the future is like a bank wire. And how long does a bank wire take? Probably 4, 5, 6 hours minimum, because you need proper consensus. You need both parties to agree that this person has this amount and it's going into this amount. When you're dealing with large amounts of money there, you want it to be slow. You want it to be secure. And that's what layer 1 is going to be used for in the future. You're not going to be buying things with layer 1. Maybe cars, maybe houses, maybe land. And it's going to replace the bank wire. You're going to use everything else. Like you go to a restaurant, you buy a t-shirt, you buy coffee, you buy anything. You're going to use Lightning because it's instant settlement. But even on layer 1, you know, if you set the fee high enough, that's why there were some fees on there that were like 1,000 sats. I think that's pretty extreme, but like your transaction is going to be approved probably sometime in the next half hour. So think about how good it would be if you could send a bank wire yourself without any other banks involved, taking a fee off of that. That's essentially what you're doing with layer 1. It's the exact same, even more secure, I would say. So you pay less fees. You don't need anybody's permission. And if you set the fee high enough, it'll take you 10 minutes versus 6 hours or 3 days or however it is, and not on fucking weekends. So it should be slow. You want it to be slow. You want it to be secure. And just to go into that, because I don't think enough people ask questions like this. So the reason why it takes 10 minutes, why do you think it takes 10 minutes? That's just not just like a number that Satoshi came up with, right? Like it's 10 minutes because you need consensus. You need everybody to agree that I had the Bitcoin to send to you. It takes 10 minutes for the consensus mechanism to work. That's why like Lightning, that's why other coins, it goes too fast. The consensus is too fast. It's not secure. It's not what Bitcoin is. Man, okay, Jordan, we're going to do a half-hour show tonight. Zaywan says, why buy more than one hardware wallet if I can erase and restore any of the wallets I have, assuming I don't need it for multisig? Is there a flaw in my thinking? I mean, the only thing that I would say to that is like, if you have a significant amount of Bitcoin, I'd say over like 20 million sats, you should have a decoy wallet too. And I'm not going to get too far into the decoy wallet here on this channel, but if you need more info on that, our multi-generational wealth course that I did, there's one episode dedicated to, there's one on UTXOs and there's one on decoy wallets and passphrases. So check that out. Dude, for real, I've been working to get 1 million before I finally transfer. Yeah, you don't have to do that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's bad advice. Because there's, you know, depending on where you see this thing going, and I see this thing going very high in the future. And so let's just say that you had a UTXO for 1 million sats. And you go to spend some of that. You want to buy a new truck or you want to buy a new quad or whatever it is. You're going to have to move Bitcoin out of that to send somebody. And they're going to be able to look back on that UTXO and see how much Bitcoin you have. And, you know, if you believe that 1 million sats is going to be very, you know, you're going to be doing very well in the future with 1 million sats, you don't want to send Bitcoin to somebody and they'll be able to track it back to you. So yes, I'm thinking years out, but that's when I plan on spending my Bitcoin. So that's what I'm focused on, right? If I was going to be spending my Bitcoin every day and paying rent and shit like that, like it's a little bit different, but like I'm sending it to cold storage and those are going to be there for a long time. So I'm thinking like what the sats are going to be worth at that time. How do you access Bitcoin with your seed phrase? Well, you just go to whatever wallet you're using, you just go to restore wallet and put in your seed phrase. I would be very careful though. I mean, there's a lot of questions in this. And like, you know, the one thing I'd say, because I get this feeling that, you know, there's some people who are newer to Bitcoin and who have a lot of Bitcoin in this chat. So what I'm going to suggest here is for Zaywan, for Richard's Gay Son, for Cat Daddy Soprano, for Waffle Cones, like join Living in the Future. You get the whole community there. There's more stuff coming, which I haven't even talked about this episode. I've talked about it the last couple daily shows. But not only do you get the access to the community, you get a whole course, a series, an 8-part series specifically for questions like this. And so one of the episodes was on UTXOs. One of them was on passphrases and decoy wallets. One of them was on best practices, which includes stuff like your seed phrase, storing it, where to, you know, what to keep it on, to make sure you don't do it in front of any cameras and shit like that. Like there's a lot to know here and there's a lot that can go wrong. And that's kind of a realization I've had over these last couple of days is like people get into Bitcoin and they're taking advice from people who have been in Bitcoin for a very long time, who this stuff is second nature to. So somebody gets into Bitcoin and they see this meme that says, not your keys, not your coins. And so they take that literally. And so they buy a bunch of Bitcoin, they get a hardware device, they're way far ahead of themselves. They have way more Bitcoin than knowledge. And that's how people lose Bitcoin. Whereas if you just held it on an exchange for a while until you learned a little bit about Bitcoin, you'd still have that Bitcoin. So that's the one thing I've noticed is that there's too many new Bitcoiners who are just jumping to set up a hardware device. And don't get me wrong, that's the best place to keep it. But if you're just new to Bitcoin, that's how you lose Bitcoin, is if you have more Bitcoin than knowledge. And so one recommendation, I guess, because I like the show is actionable advice. That's one, is join the Living in the Future. Check out the Multi-Generational Wealth series. Watch that. You'll have a much better understanding of what to do, best practices, stuff like that. But the other one too is if you're thinking about buying like a significant amount of Bitcoin and you don't have the knowledge yet, if you have more Bitcoin than knowledge, one thing I would suggest is using a company like Caleb and Brown, where you can send them a bank wire, you can buy Bitcoin, and they'll just hold on to it for you. They keep it with Fireblocks, which is another entity, a custodian for them. So yes, you don't own it yet. I mean, you do, but you don't. But you're not going to lose it either, right? Because I've just seen too many people buy $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of Bitcoin before they even have a clue what a wallet is. And then they get way too far ahead of themselves and they end up losing that Bitcoin because their knowledge wasn't up to speed with how much Bitcoin they have. So, if that sounds like you, if you are somebody who's thinking about buying a lot of Bitcoin and you're worried that you don't have the knowledge yet, reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with someone at Caleb and Brown. They're a fantastic exchange. They've been around for just about 10 years now. And they store Bitcoin, they store all the altcoins, which I don't love necessarily, but they use somebody else to keep their coins for them. So that's what I would say to that. Because as much as I love Bitcoin Well, you actually can't buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well unless you have a wallet already, because they don't hold any Bitcoin. And again, I do think that obviously this whole channel is based around cold storage and self-custody. But like, if you're not there yet, it might be a good idea just to keep your Bitcoin with somebody else for a while where you're going to have it in 3 or 4 months when you're caught up to speed with your knowledge. So don't like misconstrue my words there and say that I'm telling you to keep Bitcoin on exchange, but it does make sense for certain people at certain stages of their Bitcoin journey. That's what I'll say. Yeah, there's a lot of morons out there who own XRP, but we don't have time for them. Will be all Syrah in the future, or will the dollar survive as a thing to borrow from Bitcoin? Will be all sats maybe in the future. No, I don't think that it's going to be all sats. I think that a lot of Bitcoiners do believe that. We're going into like a hyper Bitcoinization, but I don't think so. There's going to be dollars. There's going to be altcoins. There's going to be everything's going to be tokenized. You're going to have MicroStrategy shares on there, Microsoft, MicroPenis shares. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. I hate leaving comments behind here, but I've streamed too much today, and my back's sore. Watch it live. Anyone can use it as a step-by-step. Yeah, exactly. Going back to that video there, it's perfect tutorial, a free tutorial for anybody who's sending their first on-chain transaction. I agree with that. As long as I'm generating a new pub key each transaction, they really only have, yes, exactly. So within your wallet, if you use a wallet like Sparrow, like you can look at a whole bunch of different receive addresses in there. And as long as you use a different one, then they're only going to be able to track you back to that. And I know that there's people who think that the AI, the quantum computers are going to be able to trace that back to like your master wallet, but I don't know. We're not there yet, but yes, you're absolutely right. Use a different receive address every time you send Bitcoin. Why everyone says UTXO consolidation is good now before it's too late. Well, it's not good now. I mean, what are fees? Like, this is what you want to pay attention to when you're thinking about consolidating UTXOs. You want to pay attention to the mempool. So fees right now, I wouldn't suggest consolidating. Uh-oh, what happened here? But this is one you want to pay attention to here, like these fees here. So I would say don't consolidate for any fees higher than like 4 sats per rebyte. So that could change though too. Like this 4 blocks ago, the fees were only 8 sats per rebyte. So this is all free market. This is how much people are willing to pay to get into a block. And I would wait till it gets down to like 3 or 4 sats per rebyte before you consolidate any Bitcoin. Process of wiping my wall because I made a stupid mistake by writing down my seed phrase on. Yeah, well, that's good that you're wiping it and resetting your keys there. I mean, don't feel bad. You're not a Bitcoin noob. It's just everybody goes through this, right? This isn't common knowledge. We don't learn this stuff in school or from our parents. So it's like, yeah, you're welcome, my friend. And we got to the bottom here. Caleb and Brown sold to Mexico. Yeah, it's a worldwide exchange. That's why I like them too. Like Bitcoin Well is great here in Canada and the US, but like Caleb and Brown is all over the world. They got customers everywhere. So again, if you're thinking about Caleb and Brown, just shoot me an email first. Or I have a link too. I don't know if I even get anything from it or not. I had a meeting with a guy, Caleb and Brown, yesterday. There's nothing in place yet, but that doesn't really matter. Just shoot me an email. All my information, once again, is below. And I'll either hook you up with my advisor. And the nice thing about them is they actually, they can store your Bitcoin without any fees attached to that, like management fees or anything like that. And you get your own advisor too. So highly recommend. Okay, well, we went 1 hour over schedule today. So that's it. You know what to do. If you learned anything, if you got any laughs, if you were entertained for the last hour and a half, extra hour tonight, extra hour and a half, actually, you can send some sats to Arnie's wallet. If you don't have a QR scanner or you don't know how to do that, I'll put up his wallet, his Lightning wallet here. And appreciate everybody who's been sending sats into Arnie. It's pretty cool. It's awesome. And I got to redirect my Zap stream from Arnie's wall because he's getting too many sats from me here. Oh, I got to top that up actually. Whoops. So that's one way to support the channel. You can also join Living the Future, which obviously has a lot more benefit to it than just sending sats. But a lot of people don't want to KYC themselves. And so this is a good option for people with the sats, with the zaps. So yeah, consider joining the channel here as a Bitcoin Journeyman. You don't get as much as like the Living in the Future, but it does support the channel. So anything you can do goes a long way in terms of, me showing up here every day. So I'd appreciate that. Anything you can give or do. And if you don't have any sats, any dollars to send in, then just share the stream or share the channel or tell your friends about the Bitcoin journey. Because this is just the start. We got a lot of very big things planned for the future. So again, that's it. Check out Wavlake though. That's the one thing. Even if you don't send any sats to me or subscribe or whatever you want to do, but definitely check out Wavlake. They're great songs and it's pretty cool, I think. So Big Daddy Long Legs. Should we wrap her up here, Arn? As soon as I say bye-bye, that's when Arnie shows up usually. So have yourselves an amazing hump day. Thanks for being here. I didn't expect to do this tonight. It was kind of random, and I did not expect to be here for an hour and a half. So do what you can. Do what you can. Support the Bitcoiners, support the channels, and there he is right there. Arnie came to say goodbye. All right. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. I guess we'll talk to you in about 12 hours from now. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, James Bond just showed up. Bye-bye again.